We'll see in a minute if we started streaming, but I'm gonna go ahead and say hello, guys, and how are you doing tonight? Welcome to the first Panda Pro Ladder show match. My name is KO, and I'm joined today with Cavalier Guest. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. I'm super excited to be here tonight, and I don't know. Panda Pro Ladder's been so good for the community that it's interesting that they're doing these show matches, and I can't wait to show people how awesome it's going to be.
Yeah, we're at this point now where doing this, it's like Panda Pro Ladder is kind of transcending just the ladder that it is for, you know, the community. Now it's also the show match thing. Like, this is getting really big. There's a lot of stuff going on with Panda Pro Ladder and with this league in general, so I'm kind of excited to see where it goes because it's sort of taking things over right now.
And I think it's the consistency of the content that's going to come out from it, the consistency of the player. It's not like a tournament where it's one and done all weekend. I think actually Panda Pro Ladder has more sponsors than most HOTS tournaments do.
You're right.
So obviously sponsors really like the idea of this being a constant sort of thing that happens. And we're going to have some really good games tonight, I think. Just looking at the players and casting. I've been casting
you're somewhat tentative. You're like, we're going to have some great games tonight. I think.
Okay, but I've been casting Panda Pro League all week, and I've seen all of these players in at least one or two games, and they've all played really well. There's always that thing about HOTS, though. There's team synergy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So whether or not people play well together is a completely different question whether or not they are individually good players. So I think we're going to have good games, but you never know.
And it's so true. I mean, because team personalities and team building is extremely important in all competitive games, and it definitely shines through in PPL, because if you draft a team without a shot caller, then you're just like, okay, even if we got good players, I've seen it. I've been on the team where you just have no shot caller, because I'm not that guy, right? And, you know, I'm a pretty loud person when it comes to community stuff and casting and streaming and all of that, but when I'm focused and I'm playing a game, I'm pretty quiet when it comes to comms. So if you have 5 people like me and everybody's sort of like doing their own thing, and then you've got a Dreadnought on the other team who's like, guys, go boss, and then we're going core, then we're going to steal their boss after we kill the core, because that makes sense, but you know what I mean. You just have this like hardcore shot caller, and you're just like falling behind, you know, because 5 people working together. Always more.
So I could actually imagine Dread making that call, though, because he just wouldn't stop. He's always thinking about the next thing, and that's what you got to have from a shot caller. And if you have one team that has that and one team that doesn't, you're going to end up in a very unfortunate situation.
Taking the core is not enough sometimes. You got it's about sending a message. You know, it's like the max EXP strat where you have to kill every single building of the enemy's base to make sure you get max XP. That's the Dreadnought philosophy right there.
Oh, man.
So not only do we have this Panda Pro Ladder show match going on, but we just have a new patch hitting. So things have been shaken up a little bit, and we've got some new trends coming out because this was a pretty substantial patch. By the way, they should be ready to draft whenever they're ready to go. I'll just switch it on over. But while we're waiting, just talking about what's been going on. So lots of characters have been changed. We have now, I want to make sure I pronounce this right. It's it's Alarak, right?
Yeah, Alarak. There you go.
Sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the wrong way to say it is Alaric. And that's what people get mad at me for. Anyways, so he's in the game now, okay? However you want to pronounce his name. And he's like basically a new type of Kerrigan, right? Because he's a cooldown-based bruiser. So he relies on a similar combo of pulling somebody in and hitting them with like a big spike of damage. But he's so squishy and so easy to kill. It's just like, oh, it's so hard to play him.
I mean, that's true of Kerrigan too, but I think in Kerrigan's case, her mobility is a little more straightforward with her Ravage. In his case, his mobility is part of his combo. So if you combo someone and you miss, your mobility doesn't exist. You can't like leave afterwards.
You can't just like cue a minion far away from the fight. Yeah.
No, I'm getting a message that we are ready in fact to start the player draft.
Okay, so we're gonna be doing the player draft first. Now, guys, I know you all want to see the player draft and see who gets put on what team, so I thought ahead. I got a little screen for you guys to watch that happen live. So I'm going to switch it over now to the player draft screen. And I know it's a little bit shoddy in terms of quality, but you guys are going to be able to see who Srey and Shot draft in these picks. So we got Team 1 over here is going to be Srey's Bays or Srey Bays. And then Team 2, the other captain, is going to be Shot. And that's Shotty's Hotties, of course, which just makes sense, right? So as soon as we start seeing the player drafts, I'll start moving the names into the respective areas that they belong.
And we can just move down into the lobby and actually listen to it live. Move on to the Discord lobby.
Oh, Okay, well let's go ahead and do that then. That sounds fun. So I'm just gonna jump in here now so you guys can hear what's going on.
Have you guys picked players yet?
No.
Okay, you guys are good to go. We're
Alright.
streaming
Yeah, you
live
guys are
right
good to
now.
go.
You guys are good to start.
You
First,
staying
pick it
in here
up.
for audio or?
Yeah, for the start of it.
So do I have to type it in still or
Nah,
say it?
you can just talk.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got first pick. Pick Cure.
Shocker.
Let's go on with Cure. Wait, Cure's here. Okay, I wasn't sure. I
Yeah,
think Cure was one
Cure
of the
showed up.
tentatives. So
He's
you
sleeping,
get
but
Chew/Cure. That's a great first pick. You're gonna get one of those legends.
Don't hype it up too much. It's okay.
Wait, but Chew's not here.
Yeah, well, I gotta take the Chew/ part away, but that's just what it was because I wasn't sure
I
which
would
one
go
was gonna
Chew
be
for
here.
the Twitter followers.
Alright, I pick
You can pick 2, Shot.
yeah, I pick Nazmas and Kona.
Nazmas and Kona. Okay.
Nazmas has been doing work all week in PPL. I'm gonna be honest.
Play support here.
Me.
Shut up. John.
Pick me. Srey, please.
I'll get Prism and play support. Or
I can fill support. I'm trying to think. Like I don't play medic.
Oh,
I don't play
okay.
Ether. I play Rhaegar, Bright.
wait, you're telling them our strats if I pick you.
Shit.
So
Awkward.
That's like an.
Now
That's
I
an
super
off-roll,
can't
though.
pick you.
That's
You
that's
did.
off.
Flex player, man. I'm a support man. Don't worry. Straightforward. I only play support.
Yoda, you play
Same.
support still?
Huh? What are
Play
supports?
Do you play support?
What are those? I put Tron,
Yoda,
Focus
I
Attack.
don't got my support.
I think the underlying theme here is that your role determines your order in the pick pretty much. Like,
Yep, pretty much.
are you one of the legendary few
Is-
support players? Great.
Is
You're gonna have a
Focus
spot
Attack
in every
Tron
draft.
a support?
Okay, you're super not gonna support.
There's like 50
I
Tron
need
mains.
dedicated support.
Wait,
Gotta-
but Iakona isn't a support either. He plays tank.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says
he's-
tank
Yeah,
right there.
Iakona, that's one thing about I've learned about Iakona. You just will play anything but support in PPL.
Yeah, same with every support main.
Shit. Okay, I'll pick Yoda.
Damn it!
You get another pick.
I can actually support. I just didn't
No,
like
I
the
picked
pick.
Prism.
Oh,
and
he's
Yoda.
got Prism.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got Prism and
First
Yoda
time.
now.
We never did play together, Yoda, indeed.
Yeah, we're always opposite. We're opposite in HL. We're opposite
You always
in fucking-
drafting like a troll, man, too.
Yeah.
Should have just refused playing support. And then
Yeah, I can't play support, guys. I'm Focus Attack Tron only.
I pick.
Pressure is
who's
on.
available still.
Who's gonna be the
Toon
fact
Slim's great, but I'm pretty sure he plays from EU. So
Yeah, nice pick, man. That wouldn't pick me.
Damn.
I don't play from EU.
he's just
That's
he's
cool.
the EU legend that plays on
Okay.
5,000 ping.
Okay, we should
pick-
delete
I pick-
Corbin.
What? Yeah, we should. I mean, that's just Cure. Just Cure is carbon, but. So I pick Lightsy and Taliant.
Lightsy and
That's-
Taliant. Okay.
And that's my team.
You're not short a player. That's right. You're naturally.
That's
the
my
pick.
legendary lineup.
Wait, Carbon Elite is Cure?
Yeah,
Yes, Cure showed up. And
Cure showed up and
Alright, well,
carbon.
now
was-
you're-
well, they're
pure
not the same
Carbon
person.
Elite.
He's just replacing him.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
I actually thought you meant that was his like Smurf account
No,
or
no, no, no,
something.
no, no.
Okay.
Wait, I thought I was Carbon Elite for a second. Didn't
Wait, I saw you that one game.
Well, now we cleared that up. So that means Toon's going on Team Srey base.
Yeah.
Thankfully for Taliant, he was not last pick because his mom is watching.
So I feel like we should do a quick
Cool.
interview. You know, how do you guys think the draft went here? What, Srey,
know.
how are you
Hi,
feeling?
Mom.
Are you happy with the picks that you got?
I think first pick's super balanced.
Okay. Okay.
You get first player pick and you get the first hero picks.
Yeah, coin flip is broken. I'm tilted.
But Shot did get Nazmas, so and
Yeah, I got
Iakona.
the-
That's some hot pickups
Yeah.
right there. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
got
our
the-
weakness is we don't support.
I got the double
Nice.
value
I
pick.
think our weakness is I have to play support.
But then Shot's team has the weakness if they don't have good play.
oh, the call out.
I think Srey's weakness is that they have a crappy shot caller.
Oh man, and then of course you've got Toon who only plays Nova. So good luck, guys. All right, jumping out of the channel.
We're in there.
All right.
Oh man.
So we
Shot
got to
fired
see.
right at the beginning there.
Yeah. So here are our teams, guys. It's gonna be Team 1, Srey Bays have Kier, Prismat, Yoda, and Toon Slim. And if you didn't hear much from the interview, basically Srey was saying he's a little worried because they don't have a dedicated support player, and that's oh so important to have. So that could be a bit of an issue. I don't know. What are you thinking about these player matchups?
I don't know. Nazmas has been doing so much work all week. He's done, especially on Lunara. He's had a really high win rate,
right?
Yeah, he's a range main. So, but he's been MVP of a couple of his games. My real concern is actually that no one in PPL seems to be a tank main, and I think it's really hard at high levels of play to set up fights that are going to go in your favor if you don't have a really on-the-ball tank player. And no one's ever excited about playing tanks. So
yeah, it's kind of weird too, because playmakers are often the tanks. I mean, you see like Zuna constantly being such a playmaker on characters like ETC and Murden. So I feel like it's very important. However, guys, we do have a draft starting now, and I'm not talking about player draft. We're on to the hero draft now. So we're going to switch that over. First map going to be on Towers of Doom. So let me just fix what I've got going on here.
And the first question I'm going to ask on Towers of Doom, ignoring bans, are we going to see Medivh? Medivh's actually been pretty popular on PPL, and I think Towers of Doom might be either his best or his second best map. We've been seeing a lot in Korean pro play as well, and I mean,
yeah, we'll have to see here. So Srey's team first banning out Zagara, and I was just making sure the overlays were correctly set up there. Had a little bit of a glitch there for a second. So now Shot is going to have to ban something out. Maybe knowing that Srey's team doesn't have a comfortable support player, target banning one of the more normal supports, putting them on kind of a weird support. Something like that potentially could be coming out here. And of course the question here too is always if you want to ban Vikings and deal with that. And it's kind of a judge of, is their Vikings player worth banning out?
That's absolutely the case. And, but with Vikings being on the table, there's a lot of globals that are available. And if you have globals, you can usually deal with Vikings. It's not the most pleasant thing to do in the world because you still have to deal with that 4-man rotation.
Right.
But Falstad's going to be available. So do you ban Falstad? Or do you ban another solo laner? And it looks like they're going to focus on the solo lanes. Thrall and Zagara both banned out.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of picks still available to them. They can pretty much go any route they want. However, with the new set of prioritization, wow, Murden. Okay, so this is very Korea style here, first picking Murden. That's something we've seen basically as a pattern lately. Murden has been very highly prioritized. But, one tank that is a little bit of a hidden value on this map is Stitches.
Right, we see Stitches on this map in EU constantly, especially as a secondary tank. Hooks give you so much value in wide open areas where you know where people are going to be.
Right.
And Towers of Doom is just nothing but wide open areas.
Yeah, exactly. And so Shot's team is going to go ahead and take ETC and Li Ming. So a very aggressive, bursty first two picks here to go off of. So they're very reliant on the kills right now so far. Li Ming, though, is a great pick just because she offers so much poke constantly on the points. And she's just basically that constant source of damage. And there's so many different angles that she can find just around the temples at bottom and in the mid. So there's so many different opportunities she can have to just like light people up with a combo. So I do like Li Ming.
They almost had to pick that ETC there as well, just because it would have gotten banned out in all likelihood. Srey, picking up Murden early forces you to pick up your tank earlier if you don't want to get limited. And Srey thinking about picking up Falstad here does lock it in. They now have a global, which is going to help them a lot during the triple altar phase and just in general in rotations on the map. And also thinking about locking in their support here.
Yeah, Rhaegar's one of those supports that does best when you're pairing him with a bruiser, and so far, they don't really have any sort of bruiser threat. So we'll have to see what they opt to go for, and yeah, gonna be the Falstad Rhaegar there. So like you said, getting the global. Falstad, even though he just got a little bit nerfed in this most recent patch, still extremely highly valued on this map, just being able to, for example, on the triple tower spawn, you can just cap your defensive one, and then you can fly down and help the mid or bottom tower spawn as well. So that's a really nice utility to have for your team, and just to get that number advantage a little bit sooner. Now, another character I'm wondering if we'll see, and I'm surprised we didn't see it in the first round of picks, is Vala, because Vala has definitely been moving up quite a bit in the priority line, and I feel like on this map, it's kind of like Li Ming, where you just get a lot of value out of being able to find so many different angles to poke into the towers.
But do they have any players that have been practicing Vala, like played her on PTR and are comfortable with her? We do see Kerrigan banned out by Srey's team, as well as Greymane banned out by Shoddy's Hottie. So both teams focusing on the melee auto attackers, and Greymane technically is half melee, half range, but making sure they don't have that frontline potential or that blow up potential.
Yeah, Greymane pretty much does everything. And I think Greymane is actually pretty good still. That's something that is something I've been looking at a little bit lately, trying to figure out really where Greymane's at after all of these changes. And
he's in such a weird spot because we've seen teams play him as a purely AA hero who only goes in Morgan to secure kills at the very end of a fight. We've seen him played purely as a Worgen hero, usually with an Abathur or a Tassadar to help have even more support to keep him alive and patch that weakness of no self-sustain. And it depends on the comp that he's drafted into, and I think that you have to consider the entire comp when you draft Greymane and decide how you're going to be playing him. So
yeah, that's a good point. And Shot seems going with Ariel Lunara. Wow, so this team all of a sudden got extremely poke heavy. And with Ariel, of course, you just have that infinite sustain, not having to worry about mana, just sitting there basically just generating hope and using it to heal people all day. It's the good life.
And once Lunara picks up Splintered Spear at 7, she can just have that poison ticking away on everyone. Ariel just gets hope constantly. That's a combo we've seen a ton this last weekend at the Bloodless qualifiers. Despite the fact that it kept winning games, the combo only got counterpicked or banned out one time, which was amazing to me, casting those games over and over and over again. And they just kept letting it happen. And a healer who never runs out of mana and can has a huge area heal every 4 seconds is pretty good, as it turns out.
Well, you know what's not really that popular right now is the sort of backline divey characters that counter Lunara and Ariel, and that's exactly what you need. So with the popularity of those being pretty low, stuff like Zeratul, I feel like Ariel, Ariel and Lunara together is something that you can get away with. Now, wow, Srey's team going with Medivh. I love to see this. Medivh is one of those characters who's extremely good on this map. The portal mobility is so nice, being able to jump over all the walls and everything. Did you see Rich play Medivh in the Super League semifinals?
I did.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely terrifying. There's no other words for it. It's just absolutely terrifying.
Rich on everything is absolutely terrifying.
It's interesting, the dynamic, though. We've seen people play Medivh as kind of like a damage plus a support, but the way Rich played him, he was just purely damage. He was nothing but a backline harassing machine.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'll just turn the support character into a carry, make it happen.
And Hammer picked up as well. So we don't have Gust for the disengage. We have Portals. We have Force of Will. And then we have Murden for the peel. That's going to be a very difficult comp to get to. And their scouting potential is insane. Arthas picked up as the last pick for Shoddy Shoddy. So they have an extremely strong front line, a lot of ranged damage, a lot of range poke, and just a huge front line for zone defense, which is so important on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, and I feel like the way I see these team fights going is they're trying to maybe use Arthas, Syndragosa to engage very hard onto Hammer. Because right now, one of the biggest problems with the comp that Shot's team has drafted is that it's going to be very hard for them to poke with the Sergeant Hammer plus a Medivh, just sort of moving around constantly, getting that little bits of damage on the front line. And with these two frontliner tanks, you basically are going to have to be forced into a position where you charge onto them. You can't just sit there and wither the storm, so to speak, of the poke. Because Lunara and Li Ming, while they do have a good bit of damage, Lunara still has to get pretty close to get those poison stacks rolling. And then Li Ming, of course, she has good poke and everything, but you get a little bit out of position, and they're going to engage on you very quickly.
Agreed, especially with the repositioning tools they have. They have Portal, they have Gust. Even Murden, even just Murden's jump can instantly punish someone who's out of position, even a little tiny bit.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So guys, we're gonna be loading into game now. This is gonna be the first game of the night. Team Srey versus Shoddy's Hotties, and we're gonna be going in on Towers of Doom here. Just looking at the drafts, who do you give the edge to here?
I feel like Shot's team requires more coordination, and even though these are all high-level players, this is a team that was essentially, thrown together. All these players were put together before, but then you look at Medivh, and Medivh requires even more coordination. So I think Shoddy is going to win by a little bit. Like they have the edge in terms of ease of execution by comparison.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But that's Cure on Medivh, and Cure plays a pretty good Medivh from personal experience, I can tell you. So I think it's going to be how much damage Prismaticism can get out safely. I think that's what's going to make or break the game in the end.
Yep, I agree with you on that. So guys, spawning in here on the left-hand side, it's going to be Team Srey Bays. And it's going to be Srey playing Muradin, Prismat playing Hammer, Yoda playing Falstad, Toonslim on Rhaegar, and Kier playing Medivh.
On the right side, for Shotties Hotties, we have Iakona on Ariel, not a support. Lightsy on Lunara, Nazmas on Li Ming, Shot on ETC, and Taliant on Arthas.
Yep, good old Iakona, man. So he's rocking the pleb horse. I feel like that's already maybe a sign he's not quite comfortable on that character, you know. Probably hasn't played much Ariel. I mean, it's just Iakona.
We're actually seeing auto attack Falstad come out here. By the way, Seasoned Marksman picked up at level 1, and I think that's probably a response to the changes that Falstad experienced in this patch. But I wonder if we're going to see the hybrid build where he still takes Boomerang at 7 for the wave clear.
I'm really surprised to see that, actually. But Yoda's got something up his sleeve here. Feels like it's going to be strong. You know, I mean, basically all the... Oh, Yoda getting caught out really hard here. Nice job by Taliant to lock him down.
Yeah, he had a power slide in his sleeve, but unfortunately it was good for the other team.
Yeah, I guess so. And that's going to be first blood going over to Team Shot. So nice gank there. Nice synergy on the Delta Bruisers here. Moving around the map, looking for opportunities. Even with that mount speed decrease, they're feeling confident that they're going to be able to find the kills that they need.
And this is something you always have to do when you have an ETC, right? You always have to rotate and look for those rotational ganks, because ETC is the worst wave clear of any tank. If you're not killing people on the map or making space for your team, then you're actually just not doing anything.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people underestimate that. You know, they end up in lane and stuff, and that's just one of those characters where you just can't sit in lanes. You have to be doing something on the map and creating a threat. His kill potential is what makes him a good tank. And, okay, so Taliant getting a little bit aggressive on Srey there, but no follow-up this time from Shot there. He's heading bottom. He sees Prismaticism a little bit out. They stack their stuns a little bit. Iakona whipped him into the wall, and then Shot immediately power-slided. So, not quite exactly what they needed there. Now, Srey looking for the counter-engage there. Misses the Stormbolt onto Iakona, so he's going to be able to walk out, regain some positioning there. That got a little bit scary there if they would have turned around on Iakona. If he would have been hit by that Stormbolt with power slide and everything on cooldown, it might have been good night for Iakona. But
yeah,
that being said, this is going to be a triple tower spawn coming out here, the first one of the game. Oh, and this 4-man gank, kill on Cure is exactly what they need here. Nicely done. Medivh goes down. One of those characters is usually extremely hard to actually take down in a game. Does fall there.
Because of Force of Will, because of Portals, really good jukes in the bottom, actually from both teams. Prismaticism dodging those orbs. And now we're going to go into the first temple phase. We do see Falstad at the top, shailing his 4 free. Lightsy going to grab theirs as well, and they're both going to rotate down. So this is, for the moment, a 3v4 with that Medivh pick off, and they're going to struggle to keep this shrine away from Shot's team. Srey having to go deep for the interrupt, ends up taking so much damage. Could be focused, go down. No, the Force of Will gets there just in time, and he still ends up going down. Anyway, resets for Li Ming. Taliant is extremely low. And even just taking that amount of damage, he's going to be zoned out of the fight for now. Yoda goes around from the top, trying to get the flank, chunks Lightsy out, and that forces 2 people from Shot's team out of the fight. And Prismatis is pressuring by trying to get the turn.
I've got to say, Yoda was just ripping them apart there on the turnaround. I mean, Srey did get very low, but Yoda hit like a 4-man boomerang there. Or, sorry, hammering, not quite boomerang yet. And maybe not boomerang at all with that build, but doing a lot of damage there with Falstad. Nicely done. Oh, Prismat just ate a full combo there, but Srey says hello. He jumps in, hits a 4-man thunderclap. Really nicely done there, but now Yoda's rooted. He's got to be careful. ETC, though, falling in the meantime. So it's going to be a little bit of an advantage here on Srey's team, as they're probably going to get out 2 out of 3.
Get that tempo advantage. They're a little bit behind in XP.
Nicely done.
They despite all of that, but Yoda in the top lane flying up there is going to be able to make up that difference very, very quickly. Again, that's the advantage of having one of these globals on the map. And this is the map where it almost always goes to the late game. You don't usually see a game where one side dominates so hard that they get so far ahead in shots that the game ends early. This is a map where you can pretty much bank that you're always going to get to 20.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of comeback potential constantly throughout the game, and that's why it's one of those maps that's actually very well favored. I think everyone was really skeptical when this map first came out that it wasn't really going to have those good comeback mechanics that have become memes in the community of Heroes of the Storm, but certainly has done a good job of becoming a map that people enjoy playing on. So now, pumpkins from both sides going to be meeting here in bottom lane. Looks like Prismat and Srey here really want to get those pumpkins in. Look, Kier going on the offensive here. And look how fast that Arthas is dropping to the damage there of Prismat and Kier. That got scary real quick for Arthas.
And this is the problem with Arthas versus highly mobile heroes like Medivh. You can't get, once you're in as Arthas, it's really hard to get back out, and you can just take so much damage in the interim.
Yoda in top lane tries to move in to finish off that Kier on Lightsy, but he's not able to make the trade. But Kier shows up at the last moment there. Oh man, feels bad if you're Lightsy there, because you know Lightsy's probably like, oh my gosh, I just juked him so hard. Oh man.
I mean, he did. He just, but didn't end up juking Cure Medivh. That's one of the nice things about Medivh. With his Raven form, with his portals, he can get anywhere really, really fast and finish off kills that you wouldn't even think about on other heroes. Especially on this map, once you have reabsorption, you can go right up under all of the deadly towers, get healed to full, and still get those picks when people think they're safe.
Yep, that's exactly right. And the Master's Touch here, stacking up for Kier. How's he doing on stack so far? Let's see if I can...
He is at 1 out of 30.
1 stack. Okay, so he's got a little ways to go. Meanwhile, his team fight is breaking out in bottom lane. Looks like a bad position for Prismaticism there, getting stuck in the corner. Nice job there by Shot and Taliant, the 2 tanks. Get in position there. Now Yoda's going to fall as well. Possibly the Force of Will might keep him alive, but it's not going to save him from the poison. Toonslim, where's your cooldown? Not in time. Shot's getting very low as well. Now Kier getting low, but he should... Oh, I spoke too soon. I was going to say he should be able to get out, but can't find the portal. And that was a quick 3 kills there from Shot's team.
It was. This is essentially one of those problems with going triple range. Without double melee, it's very difficult to zone fights, and with double tank, they're just literally walking onto them and dismantling Srey's composition. Without Gust as a disengage option, they're going to struggle in fights all the way up to level 10. Once they have Gust, we might see a little bit of a change, but pre-level 10, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, that's right. Gust is going to be very nice for them. And it's just like we were talking about, though, in the pre-game. It's really all about that very quick engage, quick kill, what they have to hit if they want to win team fights, and they've been doing it great so far. Shot and Taliant, ETC, and Arcus are going in. This time, however, it's Srey's team that's getting the engage here on the pumpkins. Falstad's going to start rotating. ETC won't be here in time, so let's see if Srey's team decides to just commit aggressively here. No, they're just going to back out. Happy to just clear these pumpkins instead.
That was a perfect example of what I was talking about in terms of playing with a Medivh. Srey had a portal right there. He could have clicked on it. He didn't have to jump out. He could have portaled out and then jumped and been so much safer than he was, but he just ignored the portal completely.
Yeah, kind of undervaluing and underutilizing that actual mobility that you get from Medivh. It's so important to use every advantage that you have with your team composition. So with the ultimates being chosen here, let's talk about this a little bit. Napalm Strike, no surprise there. Avatar Gust, we were talking about how Gust is going to be very impactful in breaking that initial engage that these 2 tanks offer. And then Polybomb for Medivh. We've seen a lot more Leyline Seal lately. Ooh, Kira needs to take that portal real quick. Did you see him actually get whipped as he went through the portal?
Yeah, he did. There's a little bit of a delay on the animation there just because the way the net coding is set up for Heroes of the Storm, but they're so close that almost actually denied it. And that's one of the ways you can beat Medivh is anytime you have a displacement, just knock people away from the portals, and suddenly they can't get in the portal, and there's not that safety net.
Let's see, we need that Gust to be here just in time because this is a very crucial moment. Srey, though, doing a good job of tanking this damage. That's exactly the target they want to have hit. I feel like Prismat is really ramping up the damage now in this fight, and of course this auto attack Falstad moving up. He's got secret weapon. Now he might want to use that Gust, though. That Sendragosa has come out to play here. Lightsy backing off very, very low. He's probably going to have to reset in this situation. Iakona is completely drained of hope, and no, not from a Leoric. That's spamming heals. However, Shot calls for the re-engage, going in on the Yoda. Yoda gets a...
Yoda's going to live because of the Aegis. The Ancestral got off because of the Force of Will. Such clutch cooldown timing from both teams. A little bit of an overlap. The power slide.
Shot got, you know, denied of his kill there by Iakona. Because he put him in the Aegis and he couldn't get that last auto attack. And Shot was low, but he wasn't quite that low. Oh no. Okay, turning it back onto Lightsy here. He's decided to stay. Iakona falling below. Chase is on for Lightsy. Lightsy's going to go down. A nice Gust from Yoda there. Trying to secure a couple more kills here with Secret Weapon. Those huge autos going down on Shot. He's going to be able to get under his bell tower, however, and now they're going to just get back up with their numbers advantage, and they should be able to take this no problem, especially with a hammer.
And they can't afford to keep going this fight anyway, because Srey is completely out of mana, Prismaticism is completely out of mana, and they don't have that capacity to keep this fight going. But thankfully they managed to secure those 2 kills, and they can just back out, grab the siege camps, or the sapper camps on the bottom from both sides, and get that lane pressure going a little bit.
Yeah, and so next team fight, let's try to jump into comms and listen to how Srey's team handles this fight, because communication is so key, right, when you're playing against a Medivh and all of that. So in the next major team fight, I'm going to try to jump into their comms and let you guys just hear what they're saying as they try to work through this team fight. And that should be interesting to hear, because, I mean, it requires quite a bit of coordination there. They need to make sure they use Gust at the right time, use all of their portals effectively, get good positioning for a hammer, all of these different factors, which are really crucial. But a little bit of a lead so far on Srey for Srey Bays here, as they have been having a little bit more success with the zone control overall on these towers.
You do see Kira trying to portal out to get these stacks up for his Master's Touch. He's still only at 13 stacks. Almost gets denied the mount, but Lightsy manages to get that off just a little bit too late. And then both teams are just rotating around in the lanes now, trying to find an advantage. But with Cure on Medivh, it's a little bit easier for them to scout out and potentially find that advantage, and also to deny the scouting, which means that their team is going to be able to be much safer across the board.
Yeah, that's a good point there. And now we see the teams maybe just looking for some kills. Yeah, Taliant's way out here in the lane, and with 3 members from Srey's team here, they're putting a lot of damage out on him. Yeah, he's going to go down. Throwing out one last death coil there with his dying breath. That's going to be it. And now that's a really bad time to die, because in 20 seconds these altars are going to be spawning, and with Arthas dead for 20 seconds, he's going to be a little bit delayed in rotating here to join the team fight. So now, does Srey's team go for the aggressive one here? That's the question. Let's tune into their comms and hear what they do.
I'm going in. He's gonna mosh. Keep going. They have one dead. Keep going. I have stun here.
Shooting.
Cap.
Oh well, I'm capping.
Capping.
Dusting.
You dust? Yeah, nice dust.
Cap.
Capping.
Block the damage. I think Lunara has ult.
I got mine.
He's gonna mosh.
I got it.
I'm out.
Get shot.
I need heal and ancestral.
I shoot in one.
Go back in.
Shooting 2.
I have Arthas left, but I have to go down.
They ulted in the back.
Shooting 2.
I'm jumping in.
I'm capping.
I'm low.
We're against low back.
Might be
I got a
dead.
shield.
We're good.
Cap's almost done.
Got it.
Oh, that didn't disintegrate.
Just heal up and cap ours. I don't.
Oh, we didn't get ours.
Yeah. I vision.
We're fine.
I'm just gonna back him.
Wow, so that was extremely intense. That was like the perfect team fight to listen to. You could hear how much they were focused on trying to get that cap and using Gust. But unfortunately, right when they Gust, nobody was actually capping, so that Gust went a little bit to waste there. And then that beautiful interrupt by Nazmas with the Disintegrate to stop that last cap ends up securing them their own shrine, even with Arthas being dead a little bit early into that. So nicely done there, I gotta say, for Shot's team to at least be able to secure that back. But that looked like that was going to be 100% of a win for Srey's team there. They did a good job of setting up the zone. It just wasn't, they weren't quite able to get it.
It did. It was really good play from both teams. But the problem, again, it's a communication problem. They weren't having someone channel constantly. There should have been one person who was responsible for channeling, and they should have dealt out that responsibility. And on a coordinated team, that's not as much of an issue, because normally there is one person who's like, it's your job to channel. You're the hero who's going to be the least impactful in terms of zoning for the altar. But
yeah.
This is the downside of pickup games. You don't think about that until it's too late, and then you just miss that like small window of opportunity where a couple seconds would have made all the difference.
That's exactly right here. And now the pressure is onto this bottom bell tower. This is about a 3rd health right now. Shot's team trying to siege in, but they're not the team with the siege tank. They've got a little bit more defensive tools on Srey's team here, and so I feel like Shot's team has to be a little bit careful when they do decide to push in like that. Looks like they are going to just back off for the moment. Level 16, though, right on the horizon here for Srey's team. So the window of opportunity for Shot's team to do something is closing pretty quickly here if they want to make something happen.
The 13 talent here was picked up, and that's a really big deal, actually. One of the problems with Ariel is she lacks sustained healing a lot of the time. We do see groupies picked up by ETC to sort of solve that problem. We're not going to see that problem in team fights anymore, where Iakona needs to waste a small heal on someone who's only a little bit damaged, as long as they're grouped up. And there's not that many things that threaten grouping except for Polybomb. They're going to have that extra sustain, which is going to matter quite a bit, but they're now down a talent here. And hopefully their objective here is just to trade, or get a pick if they can. Shot going on to Yoda in the top lane. His team's not there to follow up in time, and Yoda has barrel, manages to get out of that situation.
That's such a scary like combo that gets thrown out from Lightsy and Iakona there. It's the whip into the wall with the roots. The Thornwood Vines coming out there with the damage. Definitely scary to deal with. But that's going to be 2 of the towers capped for Srey's team. They were able to get those 2 towers because they have that 16 advantage, which was so important there for them. We actually see Hover Siege mode instead of Executioner there for Hammer.
I'm actually not too surprised by that because after the recent patch, you can't use portals while sieged unless you have hover siege mode. So now Hammer can use portals while siege. It's going to be a pretty big advantage. But a massive fight. Every single heroic went down almost all at the same time there. Gust into the wall. Mosh canceled shot ends up going down to Napalm Strike from Hammer. Srey just going deep with Force of Will on top of him. But the knockback denies. No, he does manage to jump back in. But they're going to be able to... Shot's team's going to get away with only that 1 death, which is actually pretty surprising considering how unfairly that fight started for them.
Yeah, it was good that they backed out, though, because it was 16 advantage. That's definitely not a fight you wanted to continue. Just let them have the 1 kill. This is a mistake we see all the time from teams, is that they can't just walk away from the 1 death, right? If you make a mistake and somebody on your team gets a little out of position, you give up a kill, it's not the end of the world. You just need to back up, reset, and look for the next advantage. For example, right here, you know, on the side of Shot's team, they can just start pushing. They can get this top bell tower and trade it out for the bottom one. Now, the problem here is that Srey's team has a couple pumpkins here pushing it as well, but Shot's going to be here to catch them. Let's see what they can do if they can zone out Shot here and get these pumpkins in. That's what they're trying to do here. Yep, that's going to be 2 more shots going on to the core. Nicely done there by Yoda.
Kira harassing in the top lane here. He does have Master's Quest finished, so his harass is very scary.
When isn't Kira harassing? He's always harassing them. Oh, nice pick off there on Lightsy. And now the chase is on for Nazmas, who's really in a tough spot here. But the turnaround onto Iakona. He's going to throw it on Crystal Aegis on himself, but it's not quite enough there as he's going to fall. That's 2 dead now on Shot's team, and only 1 dead on Srey's team. But Prismaticism getting caught out with the Howling Blast there. Shot with the Power Slide, trying to move in, but there's Force of Will. He's so protected. He knows he's not going to die. Prismaticism very confidently just staying there in the middle of the tanks. And this is going to be a altar spawning in the middle of the map here. But with 3 dead on the side of Shot's team, this is certainly going to go over to Srey base. And that's going to leave Shot's team here with only 5 more shots left on their core. So getting to that critical situation where they're going to need to make something big happen, win a big team fight.
And we see them capping the bottom sappers here as well, which is, I mean, the bottom 4 is going to go down, but they are going to be able to recap it with the sappers if they choose to, or they could go, you know, push pressure mid with Hammer. Whenever you have a Hammer and you're even a little bit ahead in tempo on the map, you can just get so much structure damage in so quickly. It looks like they're aggressively trying to invade the sappers here. Nazmas isn't having any of it. He checks that bush with his missiles, and he's like, we know you're here. We don't want to do this. Yeah. If you guys could just leave, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you guys could just, like, leave us alone. Thanks. Hey, thanks, bye. Shot taking a lot of damage there, trying to go in from the flank, but that's very, very hard to do when you're against such a big defensive team with a Hammer and a Falstaff. But they're choosing to take this fight here. Now Shot's coming around to try again on this flank. He's got pretty good... Oh, no. The Mosh ends up getting really wasted there because of the knockback from Prismat. But here's Syndragosa, a last-ditch effort. However, this fight is looking really bad for Shot's team at this point. Unfortunately, they just took a lot of damage there. The Polybomb going down on the Taliant. He's going to fall as well. And now with 2 dead, this actually might be a game for Srey base here. I feel like this would be a good opportunity for them to go up and take a boss. But maybe instead... Oh, they have the pumpkin!
Yeah, they have the 1 pumpkin and bosses available. If they get that 1 pumpkin in and go boss,
pumpkin and it's already half health. So Nazmas with the snipe there. He's got Fireflies, so he's going to be able to take that out. So I'm a little surprised to see the Fireflies taken here versus this comp, but I suppose against the Medivh, it's nice to be able to make sure you get consistent missiles in on the Medivh, who's constantly just moving around your team, so annoying to deal with.
It also just gives you more Cannoneer procs, so if you see Cannoneer picked up at 13 as well. You get with the 1 second cooldown reduction, you just get more missiles out, more Cannoneer procs, more auto attacks, and you can't dodge auto attacks, you know, unlike skill shots.
Yeah, I wish you could, man. Unfortunately, not quite that fast. But this boss being taken here, look, they're just going to leave Yoda up here because he can fly down. The rest of them, they know that they probably have this game in the bag with level 20s. They have a huge advantage to take this. So, oh, Shot's team, though, maybe looking to catch the 1 person who's isolated, which is Srey, but Kira's going to be there to throw up portals and shields to probably not going to be able to get anybody just yet. Srey taking the portal to go in. Oh, now he jumps in. He's fully committed, but he's pretty far in there. He's going to pop Avatar. He's blinded. Here comes Prismaticism moving up slowly in his little hover siege mode. He's like a little dangerous Roomba in the back line coming up, and that's going to be the gust to push everyone back. The Polybomb comes out. A little bit of awkwardly staggered ults here, but it's enough to take down Shot and get the cap, which is going to be game.
And Gust actually interrupted Syndergosa, which would have interrupted the cap because it would have frozen that area. So absolutely critical game-winning Gust right there.
Okay, okay, I see you. I see you, Yoda. Nice Gust. So looking at the damage, Li-Ming top of the charts there. Seeker Missiles plus Fireflies. So much good consistent damage. And then Sergeant Hammer following right behind. So quite big numbers coming out this game. Saw a lot of people getting bursted up. But in the late game team fights, it seemed like it was a little bit awkward for Shot's team because you saw like Shot trying to flank from one side. And that's what I was talking about, how with those two tanks, it's not like they can sit there and like fight in a poke war. They have to engage. They don't have a choice. So trying to do that, they weren't able to make it happen. There was really good response from Prismaticism to get those knockbacks every time ETC was trying to go in and mosh them. So nicely done. Congrats to Srey's team for game 1.